Okay, so first off, the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup, and I'm celebrating on Twitter with a freebie, so you guys don't want to miss that. Twitter.com/Tara Babcock. I usually don't post those kind of freebies on any kind of social media, so eyes emoji.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
What's up, guys, and welcome to a new life update video. This one is actually going to be pretty interesting, so if you're not always a big fan of the life update videos, we're going to have a good one in store for you today. The first thing we're going to be talking about is how I lost 15 pounds, and then we're going to talk about the best camping trip of my life and how I almost rolled my Jeep. And lastly, for those of you who are true fans and give a shit about my well-being, we're going to be talking about my recent health scare, which, don't freak out, I'm totally fine. First off, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but I have lost 15 pounds. This is the lightest I have been since probably before 2016. I don't remember when, maybe like 2013 or 14. It's been so long, and I am so happy and so proud of myself, and I'm gonna continue to keep going. I'm not sure how low I want to get or how low I can get, because the lowest I've ever weighed I think was 105 or 110 or something like that, and I was like 18, and I had never really weight trained heavily. Like, I weight trained like easy weights a little bit, and it was basically just like slightly heavy cardio or something. I never really did like the heavy lifting until the last like 7 years of my life. It's gotten even heavier in the last 3 years. And I definitely have like 20 pounds more muscle than I had on me when I was 18. I'm pretty sure if I got down to 105 now, I'd be dying looking. I am currently 154 pounds, and I bet you can't tell I weigh that much. Ever since I met Hunter, I had been hovering around like 170. That's kind of where my body was just sitting with the lifestyle that I was leading. Before Hunter, I was sitting around 175, 170 on good months. Both arcs of my life had pretty bad habits. When I met Hunter, I started drinking. I would drink like twice a year before Hunter, but I would start going out and we would have like drinking nights. And then Hunter and I also like to eat. So on the weekends when we would do a cheat meal, we would go overboard on our cheat meals. The thing I really like about Hunter versus before is that we have like a schedule and we stick to a pattern and stick to like a routine. And that really helps me. Like, we actually started meal prepping, and then we got more serious about meal prepping, and then we cut out certain things that would give me like bloating and gas. Like, we actually started doing like the FODMAP thing, where it's like, okay, we used to eat a lot of Brussels sprouts, which is healthy for you, definitely healthier than how I was eating before, but it would always make me have like really bad stomach cramps and stuff. So now I'm at a really good place. And by the way, before we even get into this, I know it's going to be all over the place. I'm not really going to give you advice or anything. I just kind of want to do the update of it and then talk about the fun stuff where I have tons of B-roll from my camping trip. But the thing that I really appreciate about Hunter is he just like helps me stick to things. He does things with me. He really feels like he's a teammate, and when there's something that I don't really want to do or that he doesn't really want to do, we help each other stick to it and do it anyway. So during our Christmas trip, we were out to a nice dinner, and Hunter just kind of looked at me and he was like, you know what, let's get shredded for the summer. We had been meal prepping before that and everything, but like we would be kind of blasé about how often we would have cheat meals. We definitely let it get too out of hand, and then we had no way to get back on track. So basically the weekend, either drinking or eating too much, would completely negate everything that we did during the week, which is way better than before I met Hunter already, but just not good enough. Like, if I had done the meal prepping before Hunter, because I didn't ever drink or go out or anything, I would have been skinny. But because with Hunter comes like going out, socializing, stuff like that, I was still not losing enough weight. And obviously, if you guys have been following me long enough, you know, like, I trick my mind into like thinking things like, oh, you know, my body just kind of holds on to weight longer. I don't even know if I can do this. I don't even know if I can lose weight, so might as well have that good cheat meal. Like, oh, I think I've done well this week, so let's go ahead and just fucking binge on a Sunday. Like, my brain does that to me. But with Hunter's help and this routine and our meal prepping and us holding each other accountable on the weekends, and there is one more thing that has made it actually sustainable for me, which is something I could never find. When I lost weight and was down at 160, which was my other lowest time. Here, I'll put the graph on the screen here so you can see, like, there's 2 times when I got pretty skinny. Now I'm skinnier than ever, but there were 2 times since 2018 that I got kind of skinny. And that other time I was hiking every 4th day day and doing like 10-mile hikes with Jay. And then I guess COVID happened and they shut down all the hikes. And I kind of was like, why did I gain weight back and go sit at my happy 170 again? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, they closed down all the hikes and we kind of stopped doing that. And then I just like, I guess regressed. But now it feels easy. Like I don't just sit there in the middle of the day or at night and go like, I need a cheat meal or I need something bad. And I think what I needed, not to say that I couldn't do it alone or that you can't do it alone, but like what I needed was someone to kind of just make sure I got past that 3-week hump of doing everything right, so it became a habit instead of became something that I have to think about and work on and have the fucking strength to do every day. Now it's just natural. So in the morning, I will have either peanut butter toast, which I fucking love so much, a banana, and a cold brew with a little bit of almond milk, which is like no calories. Or I'll have this overnight oats thing that I make with peanut butter, and it's really good. And if I have like a really crazy workout in the morning, I'm able to add more peanut butter. One of the tips that I would give someone if I was giving someone tips and they don't calorie count, or even if they do, is to actually weigh out your condiments that have high calories. Because I notice that if I'm eating crunchy peanut butter, I put like 4 times the 2 tablespoon serving, which is 190 calories already, on there easily without even fucking trying. So weighing it and having a food scale helps so much. And I know weighing everything is fucking annoying. Hunter has been so great also with understanding that I need that kind of structure or it won't work for me. He like actually, when he makes me like a breakfast burrito or anything, or even we have a cheat meal, he'll sit there and weigh things for me and he's like, but he does it anyway because he knows that it's important to me, because otherwise I'll just be like, out the window, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what to do, you know? Weighing your fucking crazy ass condiments like peanut butter has helped a lot. I now know that I'm not having 600 calories of peanut butter, which is easy to do, I promise you. Like I could show you what 600 calories of peanut butter looks like. It's easy to do on 2 pieces of bread. I'll have that in the morning, and then at lunch we always have our meal prepped chicken and broccoli. The broccoli is really good. All I do with the broccoli is I coat it in olive oil a little bit. I throw on some Parmesan cheese and some seasoning. Seasoning's like 0 calories. I throw it in the oven for 25 minutes, and I do that once a week, and it serves me, Hunter, and Hunter's dad for like 3 meals. We make him some food too. And then for dinner, he and I kind of switch it up a lot, but we make sure that we're doing things that are pretty healthy and never fun. Like we're never like, hey, let's just go ahead and like order some food. Almost never. And if we do, we have 3 places that we'll order from where they have healthy options. One's like Protein Source or Protein House. We can do something like teriyaki, but then I get like the junior bowl. And if I'm feeling crazy, I'll get 1 egg roll. Or we do Greek food, and I make sure to watch out how much pita and hummus I eat. But our normal dinners are usually like, there's this light Caesar salad that I buy from the grocery store, our meal prepped chicken, and there's these cauliflower thin sandwiches that we use that are like 50 calories each. And we'll put lettuce and tomato, maybe a piece of cheese, maybe. And that'll be all we eat for dinner. He'll have like 3 of them. I'll have 1, obviously. Another thing that I needed to teach him was to not like serve me the same amount that he serves himself. I'm like, dude, serve me like 1/3 or half of what you eat, because you burn like 4,000 calories a day and I burn like fucking 1,700. I'm not wearing it right now, but one of the things that's always been instrumental to me is the Fitbit. I switched over to Apple Watch for a while, didn't like it at all. The apps that it connects to are just not intuitive at all. I hate the health app, the Apple one. I love the Fitbit app. I've shown it to you guys before, but here is a visual of how it does my days. It gives me a color-coded cool graph that takes into account all of my workouts for the day, so I don't have to go like, well, I did some shit, so maybe I can eat some more. No, it's objective. I need objective. The colors are blue, which is under my goal, which is even more than a 500 calorie deficit. 500 calories is my target, and then if it's red, it means I've gone over that, and I can hover over it to see exactly how much. And then I can also look at the fucking month view, which shows me how well I've been doing each week, and then I can look at the month, and I can get an actual picture of like, should I be losing weight, or do I need to change something? And that helps so much. I've been losing about 1 pound a week. Maybe I've been going a little bit more under, so like maybe my metabolism is a tiny bit slow, but I see so many people telling themselves, and I do this too, it's like a fat girl mentality where you're just like, oh, my body is just like so hard to lose weight. Like, yeah, everything's gonna be hard at first, just get into the fucking routine and do it. And I wish I had done it a long time ago, but I'm just glad I'm doing it now, and I'm gonna stick to it, and we'll see how low I can go. My goal, my tentative goal is 135 pounds, which Hunter thinks might actually be a little too skinny, but he doesn't realize that I lose all of the fat in my arms and upper body first. So I'll start losing more of the belly fat and the leg fat later. Leg fat is always last. I always have thick thighs. My upper body gets pretty lean pretty quick. Like my jawline is snatched. I just love it. It's so much easier to take take and edit pictures for OnlyFans or for anything. And I'm super proud of myself. And Hunter is also back down to the weight that he was at when we met, but he has so much more muscle now. So he's actually a lot leaner than when we met, which is really fucking cool. I'm proud of us both. We've been doing this together, and we have a Laguna trip coming up next week, and we're gonna be on bikinis on the beach, and oh, it's just gonna be so nice. I always think like, damn, if I was just skinny or if I was my ideal weight, like things would be so much more fun. Now, I don't put things off until I'm that weight. I still live my life and have fun, and it's all great, but everything is just so much better when you're hot, when you feel hot, when you're confident. Anyway, so I was telling you, but I kind of segued away from it. The one thing that has been like a nice way to sustain this, since I do like to eat and there's no way I'm ever gonna be able to say no to cheat meals for weeks on end, is to do a 1-day fast every Monday or every first day of the week that we're not going out and doing things, you know? So if it's a 4-day weekend, we'll do it on Tuesday. But like from Sunday night until Monday night, we do not eat. We started, I think I told you guys, we started doing 3-day fasts every 3 months. And I loved it. I was losing like 3 pounds each time and keeping it off. And it gave me a little bit of momentum to like keep working out in the gym and working out harder and feeling great about everything. And then every 3 months, it's kind of like a check-in where it's like, have I been drinking too much? Have we been eating too much? Am I still losing weight? So we do that, but then we started doing the 1-day a week one because 1 day is easy. And that negates like pretty bad eating on the weekend if we want to. So we've been eating and partying and all these things like normal on the weekend, but like we just have that day. And it actually feels like it resets the bloating too, which is really nice because I fucking hate on the weekend. First of all, I'm a shy pooper or something. Sorry if that's TMI, but like I have a really hard time taking shits on the weekend. By the end of the weekend, we've been eating too much and we've been maybe partying sometimes, and it's just like, oh, I feel gross. So that nice little reset has been really nice. If you guys have any questions about it or you want me to do like a longer video or something, I will. It's just like a good combination of having a great teammate, and now I have more fun in the gym. I've been lifting heavier. I've been like running again, and I've been doing like harder uphill walks to try to get more in shape for hiking, and everything just feels better. Like heels don't hurt my feet as much. Everything is just fucking great. Next. So a couple weekends ago, we went to this place called Tropic Reservoir in Utah. We wanted to go camping somewhere not as hot because it is getting fucking hot here in Vegas. It's like in the 90s, blaring down sun. I really fucking hate the climate of Vegas in the summer. In the winter and the fall and spring that we don't get because it just turns straight to fucking summer. Those 1 or 2 days of the fall that I get before it gets kind of cold. So good. But anyway, we wanted to get away, so we were Googling, trying to find a place that had like a water feature and also wasn't as hot. So Hunter was like, why don't we go to southern Utah? Maybe there's a place there, maybe by Bryce Canyon. Started Googling and found this place called Tropic Reservoir. We went, and it was a little bit of like a rainy, stormy weekend, but we get there and they have like a main reservoir, and then at the bottom of the reservoir, there's like a river that spans forever off of the bottom of it. And along that river, there's a bunch of dispersed camping sites. So dispersed is kind of like no amenities, no stupid fucking shower. You know the way that me and Hunter like to do it. We like to just drive the Jeep up. We bring all our own shit. We live off the land. No showers, no fucking vault toilet, which is gross, by the way. When we did backpacking, we had a vault toilet and Hunter wouldn't even use it, which was during his birthday trip, which I have so much footage from and still haven't done a video on. I really need to. Man, the outdoorsy videos are so much work for so little reward, but they're the ones that are the closest to my heart. So if you do want me to make that, please do encourage me in the comments because it'll make me make it quicker. Anyway, so there's 5 dispersed sites along this river, and those are the only places that you can camp within 100 yards of the river because they don't want you contaminating the river, but you know, they designate a few spots, right? So we went there and we were like, okay, it's not that great of weather. It's kind of like rainy off and on. It was muddy out there. Maybe there won't be a bunch of people there. So we go to site 1, big group of people partying. Site 2, another group of 2 tents. Site 3, no. Site 4, I think it was. We get there and it's muddy and there's like an extra river coming off the river, but no one's there. And there's a bunch of like weird fencing from like some old ranching thing or something there. It's clearly that it hasn't been used for a while, but we decide that this is our home and we park right on the river. It's fucking cool. Look at this footage that we got. The first night, we just kind of settled in. Hunter loves setting up the campsite to make it look super cozy and comfortable, and I fucking loved it. It was so beautiful. We ended up like taking some pictures for my OnlyFans that night. It was great. Like I had a plan, so Hunter didn't mind too much taking the footage for me. So I got some like nude photo sets and stuff while camping, and some stuff I can post on Instagram, because like I really, like I had a vision in mind and we just fucking did it. And I really appreciate that he took the time for that. So I think we're in a good like place where I think he's understanding that I need him, or that he can benefit my career a lot if he just like helps and doesn't like get annoyed about it. And I'm understanding that like throwing him into like a 3-hour, like, I don't know what I'm filming, let's just film a bunch of stuff, is probably not conducive to like a happy man. So anyway, we did that, and then we had like fucking our favorite camp food by the campfire at night. He always makes the best fire. We brought the grill thing. We are such good dispersed campers now. Oh my God. So we wake up the next morning and we're like, all right, let's go explore Bryce Canyon. We didn't know that it was going to be so touristy, the place that we went. So we actually brought like the big hiking backpack and the Garmin InReach. So if we get lost, we can like satellite in and shit, but we didn't need that. We ended up doing this place. I think it was called something about the Queens something. Really beautiful. Just like they have these kind of like red rock here, but the whole place is red, and then there's like green, like lush foliage on top of it. I love the contrast between the green and the red. It's really pretty. And then they have these like formations everywhere that's like crazy. Just like, I don't even know how that could have happened. Nature, you crazy fucking type shit. Took some pictures there, walked around there, and as we're leaving, it just starts pouring down torrential rain and then hail. Like the hail was so big, it was like hitting me, and I'm like, oh, this fucking, it actually hurt. It was like a couple centimeters big. It was like the biggest hail I think I've ever been in. For a little bit of respite, we go to the fucking gift shop and we get these stickers. I'll post them on the screen. We get these stickers that are like so exactly what we did while in Bryce Canyon. It was like a red Jeep, and then like camping in Bryce Canyon. I'm like, these are the stickers we need, because this is exactly what we did. And we head back to our campsite, which thankfully we put the shelter on top of our tent so that everything wouldn't get wet. Our like little sitting area was wet, but none of our like food or anything like that was wet, and our tent wasn't wet. So we went inside the tent and just kind of had lunch and took a nap. Woke up, it was still like, what, 1 p.m. or something. The rain had stopped. We decided to go kayaking. And the cool thing about kayaking there was that nobody was on the water. And there were 6 different islands. So I was like, all right, Hunter, let's go out and fucking get you on top of one of these little like dirt islands, and I'll take a picture of you and it'll be a cute photo op for Instagram. Because this whole time I'm also taking pictures of him for Instagram, because he hasn't had a post for a while, and I'm basically curating his entire Instagram now so it doesn't look awful and it isn't just like bros at brunch, like sideways ass phone pics. Anyway, so he gets up there and he notices that there's a nest with 2 eggs in it and a goose, and the goose just flies off. She like gets freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, get back on the fucking kayak. Let's just get out of here. I feel really bad that we're like even bothering these geese. And then I look, and every single island has 1 goose nest with a mama goose like sleeping on top of it. It's so crazy. It must be that they're so territorial that they only allow like 1 goose per fucking island. But it's crazy. It was like goose brooding season or something. We got a picture of the eggs. I'll insert it here. It is so cute. I was like, oh my God. Thankfully, mama goose came back to the nest that she abandoned because Hunter was on there. And then we ended up just kayaking around and going back. Hey guys, Editing Tara here. I totally forgot that we took some like slow-mo B-roll of like going through puddles and stuff. For me and Hunter, it was really fun because it was our first time really using the Jeeps in mud. We're used to like desert and dust and everything. So we had a lot of fun with this, and I will insert that clip here so you can enjoy it. Back. This is where it gets wild. We decided we're gonna go on some of these trails. They're very straightforward, like fire trails. There's no like off-roading needed. We had the kayaks on top of the Jeep. We didn't air down. We weren't thinking about any kind of drama happening. We're like, let's just drive and see where these fucking trails take us. There was like a lot of them. They're all for like ATVs or off-roading or something. Very graded, very smooth, nothing crazy at all. But one of them near our campsite descended up a mountain, which was really cool. On the backside of the mountain, we come to this patch of snow. little patch of snow. Nothing I haven't done before. Nothing we haven't done every time we go snowboarding or something. We don't even get in 4 low because we're like, why? This is gonna be so easy, we're just gonna drive over it. So Hunter starts driving over it and he gets stuck. I was so shocked that we were getting stuck, and he was just like, all right, I'm just gonna gun it a little bit. Like, he's starting to gun it, the wheels are starting to spin in the back, and I'm like, all right, maybe we should put this shit into 4 low because we're starting to spin a little bit. He puts it in 4 low and starts going again, and he's spinning and the back tire starts slipping in mud. Okay, so we have experience with snow. Jeep-wise, we don't really have experience with mud. So we're kind of sliding our backs off of this fucking mountain in like this big thing of mud. It wasn't even really the snow that was the problem. It was the fact that our back wheel was just like getting entrenched in mud and sliding in mud. We stop. I am having like an adrenaline panic attack. I'm like, oh my fucking God. 4 low didn't even work. I thought we would just put it in 4 low and get the fuck out of there. And it's so funny because we're sitting there stuck with fucking kayaks on top of the Jeep. Obviously, if we were trying to off-road, we wouldn't have the kayaks on the Jeep. We wouldn't be fully aired up and everything. Like, every precaution you would take if you were actually gonna be off-roading or actually meant to be off-roading, we did not take because we were just on a little fucking joyride on a road that we thought like a sedan could probably do. So we get out and we start shoveling. We're shoveling the snow out of the way. I'm gathering rocks and sticks to like put underneath all the tires. Flashback to when we're fucking packing. We packed the Jeep up so much that I was like, let's just take out those treads that I usually bring as a precaution. Like, we're probably not gonna get stuck in sand or anything. Like, why would we need them? Good thing I know that fucking sticks and rocks and other things, just putting them behind the tires is basically as good. So I'm like gathering them, putting them behind. Me and Hunter are also digging. You know what we're digging with? We are not digging with some kind of great industrial fucking shovels. We are digging with our paddles from our kayak, which thank God we had, because all I had in my tool bag in the back of my Jeep was like a shovel like this big with a stick like a foot long. It wouldn't have been good at all. So we're digging with these paddles. Hunter's fucking furiously digging. He's staying calm like always, which, you know I have to stay calm. Sometimes I panic, but when I know I have to stay calm, I'm staying calm. But my adrenaline's going, so as I'm packing the backs of these tires, I fucking cut my finger. You can still see I have a little bit of like a blackness there, which I don't know if it's gonna go away, but I ended up cutting my finger on my exhaust while the Jeep was on. And so like it burned, it sliced through my skin and burned like butter. And I didn't even realize. So I'm like still digging, I'm putting things in there. By the way, we're in our Crocs. We are not in hiking gear or anything. We're in our Crocs and like the new things that we bought at the gift shop, like a sweater, which now is fucking ruined with mud. I can't get it out for some reason. It was like my yellow sweater. Our socks are all wet because we're in Crocs, we're in the snow. I'm fucking muddy everywhere. I just sliced my finger. I look down at my hand and my hand's like gushing blood. I'm like, oh my God. Hunter's like, holy shit, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, we just keep going. We take every precaution. I put things back there and I take this picture because I'm like, am I ever gonna see my Jeep again? I told Hunter, I was like, all right, let me drive. I'm the captain. I'll go down with the ship. I can't imagine how I would feel if both my Jeep and you tumbled down the hill. And we were trying to decide if we should like leave the door open and leave my seatbelt off so I could like jump out if it starts rolling down the hill, because it really was tilted sideways. In the picture, you can't tell as much, but in real life, it was like tilted and slipping and oh, it was so scary. I get in there, I leave the seatbelt off, but the door closed and I'm like, all right, 4 low, lockers on. I go like 2 feet, then we dig some more. We're being really cautious. And 2 hours later, we end up getting out of there and we start to finish the drive, which was like a loop. And we get to this place where the fucking gate is closed for no reason on the same path that takes us to all of the dispersed camping sites. So me and Hunter are like, absolutely not. This is not how the day is gonna end. We just survived this possible calamity and we ended up just fucking off-roading around the gate, which someone had done before, so thankfully there was like a path. What a fucking day. We end up getting back and I'm just like happy I'm alive. I'm happy I have the fucking Jeep. I was thinking like, oh my God, we're gonna have to like walk in wet Crocs for like 10 miles to get back to any civilization, to get back to the other people's dispersed camping sites. Like, oh my fucking God. Fucking wild. Long ass day of fucking exploring, kayaking, and off-roading apparently. And the next day we basically just pack up and then go see one more like cool mossy cave touristy hike thing, take a couple pictures, and we go home. It really was a lot of fun. We did a little bit of everything. And then finally, this has been a long enough video as it is, but I had a little bit of a health scare. So I was oddly constipated for like 2 weeks since Paige was here. But Paige also had a weird stomach bug, right? But she had the opposite problem. I'll save you guys the details. So I was like, maybe I should see what's wrong with me, because this has never happened to me like this, where I'm not regular for like weeks, right? So the doctor's like, let's just go ahead and get a CT scan to make sure that it's not something like blocking your bowel or something. Let's just make sure it's regular constipation. So I'm like, cool. I go and get the CT scan and they're like, everything seems normal. It looks like there was no reason, but there is a 3 centimeter mass down by your left ovary, right? And you see where this is going. That's terrifying. So they were like, we think it's hydrosalpinx, which is the fallopian tube getting clogged and then getting fat because it's clogged. And usually it's because someone had like gonorrhea or chlamydia and didn't clear it up. But I've had like 3 or 4 fucking negative STD tests in the last 5 years, and I've never had a history of STDs. I've never had any kind of STD. I have had UTIs, but they said this can't cause it. So I'm like, okay. He's like, go to your gynecologist. I go to my gynecologist. They're like, okay, let's give you an ultrasound because that's going to be better to see the actual insides of your uterus and all that shit. So I'm like, cool. We do that, but my place is so fucking booked that I don't get the fucking results for like 7 days. So after this fucking ultrasound, I'm sitting there freaking out for a week. So like 4 days into it, I call them and I'm like, is there any way I can get like the results? I don't have to talk to the doctor, but I'd like the results. Now what the doctor told me when he examined me was that like, oh, a lot of people get cysts. It's probably a cyst, right? So if the cyst is see-through and isn't complicated, doesn't have like bits of stuff in it, then it's completely normal. It couldn't be cancerous. Just leave it alone. It happens. They go away. But if it's complicated, I might consider wanting to do a surgery. Now they like put a hole right here, which at first I was like, I don't want a scar. And then later on, I'm like, well, fuck, I don't want cancer. Like it was progressing, right? And I haven't told anyone this except for Hunter and Jay at this point, because honestly, if I tell my parents, and my parents might be watching this right now, sorry mom, but you freak out too much. That makes me freak out. I was already freaking out. I needed Hunter, who's like the stable man. And he was definitely like, it's not gonna be anything. And if it's something, we'll figure it out then and you'll be fine. You're so strong, blah, blah. Well, he didn't say that, but he gave me that vibe. Like, oh, you'll always be okay. You're fine. You know, he's just kind of like, it'll be fine. I call and I'm like, is there any way to get the results? Back to my story. And they're like, yeah, come down and get the results. I look at the results and it says there are 2 fibroids, which I Googled are not that crazy on my uterus, pretty small. And then a mass near my ovary that is complicated and has a blood flow. Now, when you Google a complicated cyst with a blood flow, that could be cancer. So for the next 5 days waiting to talk to the fucking doctor, I'm freaking out. And I've just kind of decided that like, okay, now I know, at least I know. I'm not a doctor. Googling is probably gonna make me crazy. So I have just kind of accepted it. I like knowledge. And if I can't gain any more knowledge, then I'll accept it. I like how I'm like, I'll accept it. But it was not really like that, not for a while. But if I don't have knowledge and I know knowledge is there and I just want to know the knowledge, I have to fucking find the knowledge until it, you know. So I was like, oh my God. Hunter's like, it's probably nothing. And one thing was the CT scan said it was 3 centimeters and this cyst was 1.7 centimeters. Everything was really small. So I'm like, okay, well maybe it's getting smaller and going away, which I Googled was something that can happen. Finally, I get to the day where I'm supposed to talk to the doctor and it's like a telehealth thing. So they call on the phone or whatever. I was supposed to have my appointment at 11:30, so I call around 11. I'm like, is there anything I gotta do for this telehealth thing? I'm here, I'm waiting. And the receptionist is like, well, he has a patient who's dilated 7 centimeters or some shit. I'm like, bitch, I don't know what the fuck that means. And she's like, well, it means he might have to go to the hospital at any random point, but we'll call you if he decides to come back. This is like on a Friday. And then she's like, he's usually not even in the office on a Friday, but sometimes he comes in and like does these telehealth things. So I have to sit there and wait longer to talk to the fucking doctor. I had Hunter work from home that day so he could be there as like moral support, and he's like upstairs on the phone, and I'm just like, I have the link open on my computer because you can do it on your computer or your fucking phone. They tell me they'll call me before. I'm in the bedroom doing fucking laundry, just trying to like chill, and I hear from my computer like, Tara, hi Tara, hi, and it's like very faint. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is my phone on? I go out there and he's just like entered the chat. He just entered the chat. So I run out there and I'm like, hey, sorry, what's up? And he tells me it's just a normal part of my menstruation. And what they saw on the CT scan that was 3 centimeters was one of the fibroids. And I don't really have to worry about the fibroid unless I start getting some symptoms, and to just check it in 6 months. So Hunter was right once again. He says I always freak out and it's never anything, and he's right. So I'm gonna start being more zen about shit. I really am gonna start doing the stoic shit where I just like, doesn't matter, I don't know anything, there's nothing I can do. But I always feel like there's something I can do by gaining more knowledge, and I always feel like there's something I can do by like freaking out about it until I can no longer freak out, so I'm more prepared. Like that's kind of my mindset. But I'm just gonna live in the moment from now on when shit like that happens, and know that I will be okay, because I probably will be. And I'm like fucking, I'm a pinnacle of fucking, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I am a pinnacle of health right now. Like, oh my God, I do so much cardio, I lift weights, I fucking eat clean as shit. I don't know anyone who eats as clean as me and Hunter do. The only thing I do is I'll fucking drink like once or twice a month, sometimes more often, sometimes less often, and have certain cheat meals like once a week. But I remember my last fucking blood work that I got, they were like, damn. So I'm like, I can get through anything. I'm giving myself the best possible chance to live long and healthy and prosper and not be like Joe Biden or something. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this update. I hope it was fun to hang out with me. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Let me know in the comments what you'd like me to cover, if there's any specific thing, what you'd like to see. I'm pretty much open to anything on this channel right now. I'm just continuing to have fun on my channel as always, but I can go in directions. I don't know, I can be pushed in a direction. Why not? Have a wonderful day. Bye guys.